More compelling talk radio. 1320 WILS is live and Lansing with Michael Cohen and the Capital City Recap.
Good evening. It is Thursday, and wow, we survived that snowstorm. Michael Cohen, producer Solomon Martin, thank you for joining us. Tonight we'll get a preview to the big GOP debate, 8:30 p.m. tonight. We'll find out if anything that happens tonight might change the momentum that Donald Trump currently has. Also, the author of the book, Raw Deal, How the Uber Economy and Runaway Capitalism Are Screwing American Workers, will be here to tell us how we're being screwed. But first, Apple and the FBI still going at it. In fact, new headlines indicate that Apple engineers are now developing new security measures that will make it impossible for the government to break into locked iPhones using the methods that are currently being debated in court. Let's talk to Ashley Cook, a mobile security expert, and she's the CEO of ZOCCAM. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's ZOCCAM.
ZOCCAM.
Yes, but don't worry, everyone mispronounces it. So.
ZOCCAM, ZOCCAM. Do you regret that name when people mispronounce it? Or?
You know, I think we could do a whole marketing campaign around how to pronounce ZOCCAM. So.
now, what is it that you do at ZOCCAM?
So what we do is we have a platform that enables real estate agents and buyers to send earnest money and front-end deposits through our application directly to the title company. So
phone security is kind of a key thing for you there?
It's a big key thing, yes, absolutely.
And it's funny, I was going to say that I don't even have a password protection on my phone, which is that a bad thing, do you think, not to have that?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, in this case, though, with the FBI, then we wouldn't even be having this issue if that were the case with the fund that they're trying to get into. But, you know, having your passcode is very important. And one of the things with the new Apple operating system is that they've made the user's personal identification number something that is becomes encrypted and it can't, you know, Apple doesn't even have access to that.
So I think they don't even know. And so when it comes to the type of security issues you deal with, like in what way are you looking at security issues on the phone then?
We don't do any security issues. No, I'm just kidding. No. So first of all, having a password, a PIN, so that the user can log in and out is important. Using encryption and tokens and handshakes is important, which means basically that anything that we send is going to be encrypted. And with payment processing, which is what we do, we make sure that there's no financial information on the phone, period.
Okay. So how do you keep that information from being on the phone?
We use mobile remote deposit capture. So when the check is captured through our platform, it's encrypted from capture to delivery to the bank. And then we pre-board the intended recipient. So if you're a title company or an escrow agent, we pre-board your company into our platform using merchant ID locations and location IDs. So
you're saying the FBI wouldn't be able to track this kind of data?
Well, so the data that the FBI could get a warrant and they could send that warrant to the bank, you know, to the title company's bank, or they could send it to ZOCCAM, and we would have to give the information that we have on our database, which would be reasonable. I think one thing, you know, really what the FBI is asking Apple to do, they're not asking them to turn over information. They're asking them to actually build a code that will enable them to access the operating system.
So, and you're a lawyer, right, by training?
Yes.
And in your view, is there any legal precedence to allowing the FBI to do this?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the big topic of debate is that the FBI is attempting to use the All Writs Act, which Apple's argument is, hey, the All Writs Act allows third parties to give reasonable assistance to the government, in this case, under a warrant, which the reasonableness is a big factor, right?
You call the All Writs Act?
Yep, the All Writs Act.
Okay, that's been around for a while?
Oh, that has been around for a long time. Yeah, I think it's.
You said it allows third parties, but it doesn't compel them or force them to?
As long as it's reasonable, it compels third parties. But see, the difference is that going back to, again, it's okay, send the data, release the information. But here, Apple has a good argument that what the government's asking them to do is a violation of the First Amendment, and that, coding is speech and they're compelling speech.
Well, why do you think the FBI then is not simply approaching it that way and saying, give us the data that's likely on the phone?
Well, apparently the FBI could have received the data through Wi-Fi, but they did something to the phone. They changed the password login, and so it locked them out. So they can't use that method. Okay. And that's one of Apple's arguments as well, is that, there were other ways to get the information off the phone.
Oh, really? So the FBI actually was doing that, and then they made some kind of mistake, you're saying, and now it's locked up?
Yep.
Yep. I wonder who did that. Someone probably got fired for that, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Glad it's not me.
Yeah.
But the and that's another issue. Okay, so here we have an instance where the FBI is saying, not only do we want you to put expense and resources into building a code, we want you to build this code and have this backdoor in your operating system, because we want to be able, and this is not what they're saying, but I think the argument is you're going to force us to build something that's going against what our company values are. We at Apple, they're trying to increase security.
And right now it looks like Apple's actually pushing the other way and making their future operating systems even more difficult to get into. Well, I'm talking to Ashley Cook, by the way, mobile security expert. She's the CEO of ZOCCAM, ZOCCAM.com. How do you think this will end then for Apple?
Well, I think I would not be surprised if they continue to push this, and if they lose their argument, I would expect them to appeal and take it all the way up. In the meantime, we're seeing support. Microsoft is supporting Apple, and so I think we're going to see a lot of technology companies come forward in support of Apple.
In your view, you personally, do you support Apple too?
I do, because I think there's a huge constitutional issue, and I think that there's less obtrusive ways for the government to get the info, because obviously this is the phone used by one of the San Bernardino's terrorists. Do you think Apple can help, though? Could Apple get in there and get the data in some other way? Well, okay, so I think that's the thing too, is that at the beginning, Apple was helping, and they've given federal assistance in the past, and so they're happy. I think they were happy to help and accommodate, but helping is different than building a new system.
Okay.
And building a code to break into the phone.
But the fact that this is happening now, is this the last option then at the moment, you think?
No, I think that the federal government, or hackers in general, could use behavioral studies and science to determine what the code is.
Oh, the actual code? But but the federal government says, look, we have to run maybe millions of codes to get in here, and we can't do that unless you change the software. Let us do that. Right?
Yeah. Yep. So, it's just, there's a difference between saying, okay, I know that, for example, I've got databases and emails, and when you get a subpoena and you're compelled to turn that information over, but that's permissible. But when you're compelling someone to build something new.
Yeah, whole different ballgame, no question. Ashley Cook, mobile security expert, CEO of ZOCCAM, ZOCCAM.com, ZOCCAM. Hey, Ashley, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Take care.